God. Is that it? No, no, no. Everybody out there in the YouTube world, welcome back to another episode of the Audiophiles. My name is Andy, and the fellow over there is John. We get together and we chat up music, hopefully for your enjoyment, as John distracts me with his moving hands. But yeah, John is up to bat today. He's going to offer us up something to go off and listen to, and I'm going to give it a whirl, and then we're going to chop it up afterward. So, John, all I need to know is who and what.
So, the record behind it, if you can read it, is a little clue. It's not Dinosaur Jr. But it's an offshoot, kind of. It's Sebadoh and the Lou Barlow project.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay, cool. Well, this will be interesting for you then, because I know you like Dinosaur Jr.
Yeah, I do.
This is a track of theirs called Flame.
Okay. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm definitely getting like Devil's Haircut era Beck from this vocal delivery. I'm also getting a little bit of Mike Doughty as well through the vocals. Yeah, this is good. I like that little riff. It's catchy. Guys beating the shit out of that snare drum. But yeah, I like that, but I can't. You hear something new, and we've said this a million times. You hear something new, and your brain instantly wants to correlate this new thing with something that you're familiar with. To, I guess, as a mechanism to begin to build familiarity with this new thing. But that's where my mind goes, and can't help it. Don't know if I'm the only one, but I definitely hear some Beck in there a little bit, and Doughty. All right, back at it.
You can feel anything you want to feel and call it real. But I don't want to be the one who rides flame. I don't want to be the one who rides flame.
That noise. Love it.
I can't complain though I'm wrapped up in chains. I can't complain. Everybody's got the right to be free, but that's not me. And you can feel anything you wanna feel. You can feel anything you wanna feel. You can feel anything you wanna feel and call it real. But I don't wanna be the one who rides flame. I don't wanna be the one who rides flame.
Nah, we're taking that back. That was great. The guitars and the drums just like getting frantic, and then total shift into like this bass chug. All good shit.
Hit the flame, burn a hole in my brain. I'll never be the same. I try to take it slow, but she's pushing me to go where I don't wanna go. And you can feel everything you wanna feel. You can feel everything you wanna feel. You can feel everything you wanna feel and call it real. But I don't wanna be the one who rides flame. I don't wanna be the one who rides flame. I don't wanna be the one who rides flame. I don't wanna be the one who rides flame. I don't wanna be the one who rides flame. I don't wanna be the one who rides flame. I don't wanna be the one who rides flame. I don't wanna be the one who rides flame.
Oh yeah. Oh God, is that it? No. Yeah, from where we started to where we ended, there was a lot more like digital fuckery than I thought there was going to be as the song first started than what I got by the time it ended. Loved it. Oh my God. Yeah, this is really good. Like really good. I mean, I know you're probably all like, yeah, no, you never hate any of these, and I don't. I mean, John's got pretty good music taste. Like the worst thing he's ever given me is like, you know, something I would deem as like okay or decent. And so that's like that's his floor with songs. And this is somewhere flying over the roof of the house. Very much not that floor. Yeah, this is good, man. I really, really liked this. There were all this fun stuff happening, and yeah, I'm still getting shades of Beck, but that's not all I'm getting. This is great. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get more information about these guys from John, and hopefully I'll hear more of these guys from him, or he'll just give me the green light to go scope out this album, maybe, because this is yeah, this is really good. I liked this song, if you can't tell. Now let's go tell John about it.
So you're back from the flame.
I am. Unscorched.
Lame retardant. That was your nickname at school.
I've been called at least half that before.
Yes. So what do you think?
I loved this song, man. Flame Indeed. This song was fire. I really, really liked the song a lot. In fact, it's like pretty high up there for me.
It's strange because it's really simple, but it just works, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it does work. It does work. So the song kicks off with this almost like 60s rock guitar riff. And it's like there's this pounding, insistent striking of the snare drum. And that is par for the course as it relates to the snare drum in this song. So there is this weird air of like familiarity with the sound of the music, and I think it's because it just sounds so quintessentially of an era that I've listened to a lot of music from. So like, that 60s mod rock kind of sound, and I'm like, okay, this is like catchy and rock 60s rock poppy kind of sound. And then the singer comes in, and I have the same experience where there's something similar about the vocal delivery in this. But it's different because like instead of like the 60s rock, I'm now getting hints of like 90s rock in the singer's voice. And I think of Beck, like Devil's Haircut era Beck, and Mike Dowdy, who we've listened to on this channel before as well. So I'm really getting shades of those guys from the vocals, but the 60s sound from the guitar. And then there's like this, I don't want to be the one who rides the flame or something like that is repeated. And then there is this like fluttering digital sound in the mix that, while fleeting, is wildly interesting. Like they do it for a little bit and then it's just gone. I'm like, what the fuck was that? That was so cool. And there seems to be some slight modulation I'm noticing in the vocals as the song progresses. And maybe even at times like slight sustained harmonic vocal notes or keys that join the main vocal track. And it sounds like a digital breath being taken. Like there's this, and it just has this like, it adds a harmony effect to him singing over top of it. So I thought that was really cool and very subtle. So there's all these like other little production choices in the song, as well as those that I've mentioned, that give it this like panoramic sound, or this like phasing from one side to the other type sound to it. And I loved that. That was like drew me in wholly as the song progressed more and more. I just felt more and more infatuated with that sound. And the song moves through the motif built around those four main notes at the one point, where they're like striking four notes and they're kind of resonant and they get room to breathe a little bit. And then things begin to ramp up. And just as the drums and the guitar are about to swallow you whole, things shift and the guitars fall out, leaving the persistent snare striking and the bass to carry the song forward. So at one point, I'm like, as it's building, I'm like, oh yeah, and then it cuts, and then I'm like, oh yeah, because the bass comes in. So I found myself doing that, and that was great. And again, after the chorus, the song revisits that four-note motif again from earlier that I was just alluding to, and the drums and the guitar build and build again. And as they built previously, and it builds and builds before it fades and fades to the point where it's seemingly to completion. Like I was like, thought it was ended for a moment, and then it reemerges.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
False. I was like, oh God. Because not for nothing, one of the other songs you gave to me very recently, as in today when we were going over stuff, had this like dead lapse at the end of it for like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I feel safe stopping this now. But this one, I was like, is this another instance of that? I think I even let out like a disappointment, like, oh no, because I wanted more, and then it starts coming back in. I'm like, oh yes, okay, cool. Yeah, it's coming back in, and so I like that, and it was like, it reminded me of like Michael Myers like emerging from Crystal Lake. Like it was like this, like you thought I was gone, but no, I'm back again. And his return is heralded by these like whining again, phasing sounds that are accompanied by that familiar drum beat before it finally grinds to a halt, and a much more immediate one than the false ending that they gave you where it fades, right? So it's this juxtaposition of fake ending fade, true ending, and it just kind of like stops immediately. So yeah, this was awesome. It had all these little I mean, obviously I didn't live in the 60s, but I've lived vicariously through listening to the music and the records that my father gave me, that I now have right upstairs. And it had that sound to it. So that was like a warm little hug. And then it was like, oh, the shit your dad listened to when he was in his early 20s. Now here's some stuff that reminds you of shit you listened to in your teens and 20s with Dowdy and Beck, like this, the vocal similarity there for me anyway. And then there was like this twist of like a little bit more modern-ish production choices and digital operations that went into the mixing and editing and producing this whole thing. So it was like lovely 3 phases of shit I all love on a timeline, right? So yeah, no, this one checked several boxes for me, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Excellent, 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 cool. Yes, I forgot about that false ending. I should have said something. There you go. So just a bit about Sebadoh. So they're formed in Northampton, Massachusetts. You thought they were mates with Bauhaus, but not quite.
Well, it's so funny because goddamn, man, New England is and even the East Coast in general is riddled with so many places that are just ripoffs from what you guys have. I grew up in a town called York, Pennsylvania, so I mean, I know the play.
I mean, even Washington, it's often, But I mean, obviously the settlers just thought, what should we call this? Oh well, I came from Northampton. Okay, that'll do.
Sounds like a
whole new country out here. No one will notice. So yeah, 1986. Lou Barlow co-created Sebadoh with Eric Gaffney as an outlet for his songwriting at the time when Jay Mascis was gradually just completely taking over complete control of Dinosaur Jr. So they are sort of described as indie rock, slacker rock, lo-fi rock. Ooh. And early releases that they did had that very lo-fi sound. Actually, Barlow and Gaffney did their first release was called The Weed Foresting, and it was on cassette in 1987. I think it was on a home 4-track or whatever. And it was it sort of got around, and then a record label picked it up and re-released it under a proper sort of releasing. The name Sebadoh is just a nonsense word which Barlow often muttered in his recordings, and so it stuck as the band name, just a made-up word. Soon after that, Barlow's
recordings. I mean, is this like he didn't have lyrics, so he would just input that Sebadoh saying, or he would just mumble it to himself?
I don't know. It's a safe word. I don't know.
I was instantly thinking Paul McCartney and scrambled eggs instead of yesterday, eggs, right? Yeah. It was like Sebadoh.
Yeah, perhaps not. Soon afterwards, it was kicked out of Dinosaur Jr. And over time, Sebadoh's releases became a way for Barlow to kind of both address the issues of control that manifested as the tension, and his ejection from Dinosaur Jr. He said, I got a lot of hatred out just by writing those songs. So they continued on. Gaffney actually left in 94, but they released 7 albums up until 1999 before going on a hiatus. And they have resurfaced sporadically since, even though Barlow's obviously back in the Dinosaur Jr. fold they've made up. But he still does the odd side project with Sebadoh. So the personnel on this particular song was Lou Barlow. So these are the labels for them, but actually they're all multi-instrumentalists, and they swapped around and did all sorts of shit. But Lou Barlow predominantly bass, vocals, Jason Lowenstein guitars, and Russell Pollard drums. So nice little tight 3-piece, but huge fucking sound.
Oh, absolutely.
So this song was from the 1999 album called The Sebadoh, and it was the only sort of major release, a major label release. It was on Sire. There's all these shenanigans because they went across from one record label to Sub Pop. Sub Pop was going through some shit, but Warner Brothers bloody owned 49% of it. And then obviously Sire is a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, and so there's all this scrambling around. And they ended up on Sire, and it wasn't a good fit. The album is it's not that great, to be honest with you. This is easily the standout track by a
Right,
long
one of
way.
those albums, huh?
People out there, please tell me I'm wrong, but so it was released in January 1999, and it hit number 30 in the UK charts, which is easily the highest charting release. And I have a copy of it on 7-inch. Shiny, but there you go. So yeah, now the song itself contains a looped sample from a song called Grey, which is a B-side to a song by a 60s band called The Hush. And I might
What bit was
include
sampled, John? What bit was sampled from that? Yep. The most 60s sounding part to me. Yeah. Okay.
Just that riff, and it's about a second, but it's just completely looped.
Looped.
It sounds brilliant. I'll include a link to the original song in the description of this episode, because I think the actual song's quite cool, and some of the guitar work in it for a sort of 60s sort of beat band is really, really cool. It's a little bit different. So yeah, I note to self. There you go. So I'll go through the lyrics. They're not that complicated. Oh, before I do, I didn't write this down. So you're going to say something?
I was just going to. I said before you get it. I was going to say before you get into the lyrics, there's something I wanted to add too. But by all means, you can go ahead first, and I'll add my bit.
No, add your bit first. Go on.
Okay. I was going to say I had this realization as you were saying this is the only good song on the album, and I think at the end of my reaction, I was like, I wonder if John's got any more tracks off this album for me, because I'd really like to go check it out. And now you've completely taken the wind out of my sails and pissed on my hopes and dreams. It's not worth checking out.
I'm not that familiar with her earlier stuff. I should be, and I just don't know why, but I'm not. So folks out there, drop some hints about what Sebadoh songs we should be listening to, and we'll gladly take them up. But nothing off this album, please, because I've already heard it, and it's not. Anyway, I've not written this down, but from my sort of notes and research, just to give you a bit of context. At the time of them recording this album, because there's a big deal with Sire and all this, there's all sorts of shit going on, and Barlow in particular was going through the mill. So part of this signing to the Sire and doing this album, they decided to relocate to LA. His wife at the time was very insistent they buy a house out there, and he was a bit reluctant, but he did move. It turns out that all the time she had been cheating on him with another bloke, and the bloke lived nearby the house they bought. It was complete convenience for her to then see this geezer. Barlow was crushed, but he still went through with it, and they lived together in that house. And also, she said that promising the house will have a suitable, area for him to, rehearse in that. And it was this sort of like swampy, muddy basement that was absolutely non-suitable. So I think he spent a lot of time in this weird, I forgot the name of the location, but this studio they were at, which is also, the building itself was run by the Scientologists, and so there were the engineer guy was saying, please don't smoke weed in here, it upsets the Scientologists, which is one of the greatest quotes of all time, I think. It's hilarious. So there's all, and of course they admitted as well they were closer to the source of their preferred drug, which was speed. So all this stuff's going through. So he was in a bit of a turmoil while doing this, and it wasn't a happy sort of marriage with Siren Records as well. They got it into their head that they'd be the next, cash cow out of the sort of grungy type thing, and it was pretty clear after the album that they weren't going to be that. So off they went. So anyway, lyrics. I don't want to be the. There's a lot of repetition actually. So I don't want to be the one that rides flame. I don't know her name. I don't want to go where the seekers all go. I don't want to go. You can feel anything you want to feel. You can feel anything you want to feel and call it real. But I don't want to be the one who rides flame. But I don't want to be the one who rides flame. I can't complain though I'm wrapped up in chains. I can't complain. Everybody's got the right to be free, but that's not me. You can feel anything you want to feel. You can feel anything you want to feel. You can feel anything you want to feel. Call it real. But I don't want to be the one that rides flame. I don't want to be the one that rides flame. And there's the bridgy bit, you know, as you say, the sort of the chording sort of building down, down, and then it kicks down and back in. Doom, 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 doom. Hit the flame, burn a hole in my brain. Never be the same. I try to take it slow, but she's pushing me to go where I don't want to go. You can feel anything you want to feel. You can feel anything you want to feel. You can feel anything you want to feel and call it real. But I don't want to be the one who rides flame, repeated another 8 times, and then that instrumental false ending and then back out. Now, it's easy to read stuff into this. This may have been written months before he even moved to LA or not, you know, so you can read things into it. I wonder if this is about his personal life or not. There's lots of theories out there that it's drugs, vampires, Jesus, no. But definitely drugs and meth is particularly mentioned a lot as this being the subject of this song, with flame being the obvious thing, you know. But yeah, other people have said it's about sort of interpersonal relationships and you know, just that like I'm off to the candle sort of thing, and it being sort of insecure, and you get too close and you get burned sort of thing, you know. So all these things. But at the end of the day, it's a really cool song with not very many lyrics and repeated a lot, but the way it's done, it's very, very simple song, really, but it's just so goddamn effective. And yeah, like the guy says, hit the flame, burn a hole in my brain, and that's what this song does. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Excellent. I shall wrap things up. Thanks for listening, Sandy. Thanks for folks out there sticking with it to the bitter end. Not far to go now. Suck it up. So yeah, tell us what you think of this song. Drop some comments. We'd love to hear from you. Like I said earlier, any Sebadoh songs that we should be listening to, slap them down, grab them to the list, and we shall get round to them very, very slowly. Yeah, like if you like this, obviously, and hit the subscribe button as well if you think what we're doing floats your boat. We appreciate all support that we get, and we try to sort of kick out interesting and different stuff that we think you guys will get a kick out of. So yeah, please do. That being said, thanks again so much for watching, and we will see all of you on the next episode of the Audiophiles.
See you guys.